What? Here you go, guys. You could guys share one. You guys have seen this. You about to write it.
Eric, did you join from your phone too? Can someone check to see if you can hear? Anybody has it up? I can't have it up because I'm streaming.
Any particular reason? Yes. Yes, you can.
But
It's just sitting here.
I don't know.
If you guys want, like I told you before, I don't see anybody with a drink. If you want to grab a drink out of the cooler, feel free. Go ahead and do that, and we'll get started here. Okay, so we starting?
Yep, everyone's saying that they can hear,
Okay.
so they're good.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to welcome everybody here and thank you for helping get Hobby and us improve what our race season is going to be for 2024, 2025. That feels weird to say, but yeah, we're into that new season. Matter of fact, I just sold my first season pass, Travis. So he's the only one that has a 2025 date on his name on the line. So those are available now. Those will start October 1st and go all the way till May 1st. I think that's 6 months, right? Somebody do the math for me. I was counting on my fingers and then taking the shoes off. So, but those will be available. I think it was 175, and then I can't remember what a family is. Family Ford might be 250 or something like that. So that'll get you the season pass for the entire year. But what you guys are here to do is to make this better, and make it better, meaning make it work better for all of us. Some things are going to be out of your control. Some things right now are in your control. So deciding what we do to make this better for all of us is up to all of us. It's not up to me. It's not up to the small group that we had for the rules meeting. But a couple of weeks ago, a group of us got together and kind of went through these. So as you're looking at these, just flip through, you're gonna see yellow stuff, green stuff, red stuff. I have no idea what the green stuff is for, but that's okay. We'll try to figure it out as we go. I think it was a suggestion after the meeting. There's new stuff added, there's stuff taken away, stuff like that. So we're gonna be discussing new classes, rule revisions, and improving aspects of your racing experiences. So that's what you got in your hands there, the proposed rules for this season. So I'd like to thank, who all was here? Eric, John, Brian, Corey, Ray, Matt. I think that's everybody. I think.
Aaron had to work, I think.
Yeah, Aaron was working, Aaron was invited, but, so they spent their night here for a couple hours, over 2 hours probably, kind of going through these rules and kind of mentioning things that they had heard from other people. So those are the guys, if you guys want to whisper in someone's ears, those people I just mentioned are the ones that you want to go to and you want to talk to. Also me, come and talk to me. And there's decisions that we made based upon the amount of races that each class had for this past season. Okay, and you'll see that. So if it wasn't particularly active, you're not going to see it anymore here. You can still run it, but it's not going to be part of our points. So that's what you got to look at here as these are for the points classes, our proposed points classes, okay? Yeah, so as we had before, we had certain classes that didn't live up to our expectations. And we're getting better and better with this. Very few from last year. I know last year we had to cut several, but this year I think it was a brushed four-wheel drive short course. I don't think we ever ran it. I kind of figured it'd be a good thing because all the sentence could come out and everybody could run them. And I know there were 4 people that had those and they wanted to run them, but only 2 showed up this week, and the next week these 2 showed up, so we never had a class to make 3 races. And I don't think we ever ran it. So, yeah. So what you're seeing on this paper are the classes that are planned for points racing. And that means that they are gonna be part of the end of the year awards. But as Will discussed, they're not guaranteed to be eligible for an end of year's points. So if we have a class that doesn't perform well, and it's out there, you're gonna see in our rules, we kinda made a rule for it this year. It has to participate in at least half of the events that we have, okay? So if we have 14 events and you only race it 6 times because there's not enough people racing it, it won't be included at the end of the year, okay? So it's up to you guys to make sure that the classes that you wanna race are eligible for points and eligible for the year end. Okay, make sense? Yep. But just keep in mind, we will race anything, pretty much. 10 scale, smaller, whatever. We will race pretty much anything that contains 3 light vehicles for an evening. It might not be points, doesn't matter, we're gonna race it. So if you guys bring motorcycles, if you guys bring whatever you got, I know we had guys that were racing in oval, they had the Slash late models. A group a couple years ago, they built them, their whole family built them, and they brought them and they raced them, they had a good time. So if you guys do something like that, that's fine too. Same thing with like, we'll race short course on oval night. It's not an oval class, so it's not considered a point series for oval. Bandit, same thing. If you want to race Bandit and you want to do it for points, make it what we call the 12-turn street stock. That's putting a body on it, and it's putting a body mount system on it. Pretty easy to do. We also, yeah, there's a video on it too, which by the way, building with Johnny, we lost our videographer, Eric just mentioned today. We haven't done a build with Johnny in probably 8 months. We lost our videographer. My son Coop got a job elsewhere, so he's no longer here. He's a pretty good guy with the videos. So if anybody knows how to do videos and edit them, we'll get Johnny cracking again and we'll get him building some stuff. All right. So we have pretty much a schedule put together. I don't have one here. Sherry, could you go grab that from next door? Do you have it? Okay, so we have the schedule put together already. And we had it put together and then I added a few dates and got yelled at. So we're pretty filled up, and then we're going to be having parties and different things, so it's really going to fill up pretty much every date on this calendar, I can guarantee. Okay, but we'll be starting off in October. And what we did is the number of races per class, so on-road, off-road, oval, reflect the participation from last year. Okay, oval's becoming more and more popular, but by far off-road was the most popular in how many people showed up, how many people in a class, how many racers, total racers for the evening. So that being said, we are looking at 14 off-road races. Okay, that's a lot. 11 oval, that's pretty significant, and only 8 on-road. Okay, on-road we just didn't have the turnout that we had for other ones. So that's what we plan on doing this year. There will also be beginner races on Saturday. Those are non-point races. But if you want to race and get better with your on-road cars, when we have those beginner races, feel free to come and race. I know a couple of you guys came and raced beginner, and we kind of created a class for you. So we can do that again whenever we're racing beginners. You know, if you come with your stock Bandit, and there are 3 guys that are pretty good, we'll have you guys race, and we'll have the stock or the beginner sportsman race also, to try to keep them separate. Sometimes we lump all you guys together. Just depends on what we have on that day for beginner and sportsman. Okay, well let's get on with the rules then. So does everybody have a thingy here? Okay. So as you're going down through, we have our off-road classes, and we have the off-road rules, and these are printed front and back. So as you go down through, I don't have them all highlighted in yellow, I see though, because we did add some oval stuff. But as you go down through, Pretty much nothing has changed. If you don't see any color, it's the same as last year, so no real surprises there. Oval, over in oval on page 2, we have a 17.5 touring car. What did we end up calling that? Plat,
FTC, Thumbtack.
foam, FTC? Yeah, so that should say FTC, not question mark, it's question mark. Okay, so we have added a stock Traxxas modified. That's that Traxxas Mud Boss. They came out as Mud Boss, now they're gonna be coming out as modifieds, okay? That will be a stock class, and we'll go over those rules here. And those low-C Groms, those, well, yeah, NASCAR low-C, basically it's a Grom. Those should be coming out
August 29th.
August 29th. So that's from Horizon, that's our contact. They are on target for that.
Not
And I
here,
know-
ship date from them, so.
Yeah.
Not here.
Right, so they should be here beginning of September. August 29th is the proposed ship date. So I know a bunch of you guys have pre-ordered those, but we still do have probably 4 or 5 that are available. And we'll be racing those, not only in oval, but also in on-road. Okay, so we're gonna try that for our mini on-road. Those NASCAR low-C Groms. Novice and sportsman, not too much has changed. Okay, over to page 3, the off-road, that's your stock Grom. So we have the little Groms that came out last year, they have built onto them. So we have the Granite, we have the Typhon, and we have the Mojave. They will be stock. The only difference that you can do with that is to change your connector on the ESC. And the only reason we've done that is they only sell 1 battery for that thing. Okay? For that thing and to connect to the ESC. It is a smart, what's called a G2 battery. It means you can't charge it on anything you have unless you have a smart charger. So we're allowing you guys to change batteries, also then change the end on your speed control. So yeah, so batteries, any 2S battery, wheels, tires stock, body stock, motor stock, ESC and controller stock, because that's an all-in-one. We're gonna be using the stock controller on that, so you're not be able to put your own electronics into it because it's an all-in-one. Once you start to change your receiver, you're changing everything. So that's your stock Grom class, a little mini stock Grom. Kind of take it over for our stock low-C that we had before 2 years ago. But those Groms are pretty good. We've run them, we've had them come in used where we've got to run them a little bit. They're a lot of fun. I know we had a Typhon in that we just sold. Who bought the Typhon? Lee, yeah. So I know there's a Typhon out there. The Mojaves just came in. The Mojaves look pretty sharp too. So if you guys have already bought those Mojaves too, and I know the Granites and Typhons are out and about. Stock Bandit class, it's gonna be the same. However, Traxxas decided to make a UHD, ultra heavy duty. That's what all the Bandits are now, okay? So we had to allow that new product number from Traxxas. That product number is 25254. That's just, that stock Bandit, it's gonna have a different bumper on it. It has,
Bigger bearing carriers, front or.
oh yeah, bigger bearing carriers. You have to use those little crappy little 2.5
No
whatever.
more shoulder screws.
Oh yeah, no more shoulder screws. So you know how everything would always back out because of the flex and your shoulder screw would pop out and everything would fall apart? That has changed. They have heavier duty front knuckles, bearing carriers larger. It's kind of nice. So you can run the old style if you want. You don't have to spend any money to upgrade. We do have the UHD upgrade kits though on the shelf if you wanted to do that. Or just as you break, you can replace. Run your old stuff, it's perfectly fine. But I can tell you the stuff is tougher and better thought out, like John said.
Much better.
Those shoulder screws were always an issue for people. You had to always keep an eye on them. Once you knew it, it wasn't a problem. It shouldn't be a problem anymore. So that's really the only thing changing, I believe, in the stock Bandit class, is allowing that new kit in, because you can't get the other one now. Two-wheel drive tough truck over on page 4, halfway down. Nothing's changing there. okay? And as I'm going through, if you guys have questions or raise your hand and say, hey, what about, yes?
Yeah, right out of the gate last year, somebody, you have the wood to the measured height, and they didn't reach that measured height. They was about a 1/4 inch under, but that was fair last year.
Okay, they've gotta reach that height. So I can tell you there's significant droop on the,
Now, I'm talking about the tire height, of the wheel and tire height was not, it was a 1/4 inch underneath the block. You know,
what's a
it's-
chassis height?
No,
No,
on the
what-
block I have marks for tire minimums.
yeah, the tire,
Yeah, tire and height minimums.
What's a chassis height though?
oh, chassis.
And I have
width.
on the side of it, I have,
There's a width and there's a height.
on the width one, I
Yeah.
have marked on the side of it, tire.
That's
height.
not even in the rules though.
Right
There's
here
no
it is,
tire-
4.5
Yeah,
tall.
tires, yeah, 4.5 tall, 2 inch wide,
Okay,
yeah.
And
And I
it
haven't
wasn't
marked on the one,
4.5 tall.
I haven't marked on the gauge, how tall they should be and how wide they should be.
okay, where are we at here? Point it out to me. 2.5 truck.
Tires.
2.5, wheels, 2.5 or 2.8, okay. Rubber must be 4.5 tall and 2 inch wide. So there it
It
is.
wasn't 4.5 inch tall.
Well, then
It
we
was
should
under.
have stopped him and
Someone's
we
praying
will.
for us.
Stop them and they either replace immediately or they erase the rest of the night, that's all. If it's in our rules, that's the way it is. This happened last year, it's the first I'm hearing of it.
No, I pointed out right away,
To whom?
Johnny.
Well,
I was
that's
like,
gotta be
yeah.
addressed then.
I
So,
said, hey,
so-
it ain't even that tall. I
Yeah.
said it numerous times.
So the tires have never been an issue in my mind, you're saying it is. What's been an issue is that clearance on the chassis. So what we tried to do, if you remember, when we first started, Stock Stampede is everybody dropped them and they looked like Revos. They were that high off the ground and real wide, okay, Justin? So we eliminated that, we tried to keep it monster truck. So that's what we did, we had, a width and we had a chassis height. Now I know
Granite was like an inch wider on those.
but we adjusted
Yeah,
that
we
for
adjusted
that,
that,
yeah, yeah, so that's adjusted. Which one is it, the Arma, the
The Gorgon.
Gorgon? The Gorgon does have a lot of sag,
Yeah.
okay, but if you pick it up,
Oh, I know, I've
it'll
seen
slide
that.
under. If you pick it up and drop it, it ain't coming up to that height.
Yeah, I
So,
seen that.
but the Gorgon we let through last year all the time, because it is that tall, it's just a really mushy vehicle. Which, if you wanna run that mushy vehicle out there, God
More
bless
power to
you.
you.
Yeah, more power to you, so, alright, but, yeah. So if, you know, if we have the measurement on there, or if we need something made just to make it easier to measure, we will do that, and we'll make sure. Whose car was it? I don't care.
I wouldn't say that.
Speak afterwards.
You just know it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Red flag. Okay. So if you're watching and if you're the one, right, that, had those short tires on there, yeah, it ain't gonna fly this year, so make sure you have proper tires on, right? What? Did you catch it?
No.
Okay, nobody else got it, good, okay. So, over to Pro Mod Monster Truck. I know there was a question here, are LM style wheels are not allowed? Matt's not here. Matt helped make these rules, Matt Stoltz, and the question came up by John or Eric or somebody in our rules meeting, why not? Or maybe it was after the rules meeting, that Matt was here. Yeah,
If somebody
why
buys
not?
one.
So, that's gonna be in question right now, and I'll talk to Stoltz and I'll try to figure out why LMT style
I think
wheels.
because it was copied from his Pro Mod rules
Okay.
when they had a spec LMT class.
Okay, so as long as there's no real reason, you can run your stock LMT wheels out there. Okay, as long as there's no real reason, and I can imagine there is, other than whenever Matt was running it, Matt used to run the big monster truck series all the time. So that will probably go away, that one that's highlighted in green, which means you can run your stock wheels and tires.
You just
You
buy
don't have
stock
to spend
LMT,
another $100.
Probably $150.
Yeah, Brian's over here quietly weeping, yes. So, yep, so Oval then, over to Oval on page 5, we have any question on the off-road stuff? I mean, it's pretty simple, not a lot changing. I don't think. Cool, we're good? All right. Other than checking tire size in two-wheel drive tough truck, we'll do.
On the Bandit,
Bandit.
off-road, you're not allowed internal limiters, right?
So on the Bandit and off-road, what's it saying in notes?
There is that shock, and it's like the oval. Like the oval, we specifically call out the shocks, maybe internally or externally limited.
It just seemed to me there was a lot of, there were several really low Bandits.
I think that was just no preload in Old Springs. I really do think that was just no preload in Old Springs.
So the way that it was
I
supposed
don't
to
even run the
be,
class, so I just,
yeah, the way that it's supposed to be is no limiters,
right.
no cut springs. That's the way stock Bandit's supposed to be. Remember, we've had this in the rules. If you guys ever have a question that costs you $20, which you'll get back if indeed, like if you know that tire was wrong, call them out. Yeah.
I should've, but I did
The very last
First day.
line in that, it says.
Shock limiters not allowed. Yeah, so, yeah. Tuning of interior internals by fluids is allowed. Non-modified springs. So yeah, it does go through and it does say all that. So, and then I think this description draws into oval too and says, go back and see this. Okay? So pretty much what I thought most people were doing is just putting some preload adjusters on their right-hand side whenever they're running oval.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Over to oval, 12 turn spec street stock. We have some changes, which is coming right into what Jeff just talked about. We're gonna let you start playing around with your shocks, okay? So that is your stock Bandit, everything else is stock on it, but your shocks may be tuned with internal or external shock limiters, but with stock springs. Still have stock springs. Okay? Any questions on that? It just means you can start tuning them. And from the sounds of it, Jeff, what you're saying is maybe there were people tuning them last year. I don't know. I didn't see. It just looked low.
I was talking about the off-road.
Yeah, yeah.
You can use the same Bandit for both classes. If you modify the shocks, it would probably be best to.
Just have a separate set of shocks. Switch them back over. All right. So boy, that's really hard for me to see. So 17.5 street stock. I think what we've done there, open 2S battery. So we've allowed the high voltage in. Hell, we're going fast, might as well just let them go a little bit faster. So we're not limiting to 8.44. That being said, I cannot remember a single time that we teched 17.5 street stock
I've
for
never
voltage.
teched it. We've never teched it.
Right. Okay, so now it's high voltage is allowed, you don't have to. So you can go, but it's 2S HV battery, so it's open 2S. So all that means, it's not gonna say HV, but know that you can run a high voltage battery if you want to. Okay, what's that, bud?
Is that a blanky class or is that a?
Yeah, Blinky, not a boosted class.
Yeah, up in ESC. Thank you, World for Sportsman ESC. Yep. Okay. Over on to page 6. Breakout. I don't think anything's changed there, Eric. No? Okay.
Very fun class.
And if you ever want to try it, Dennis usually has about 7 cars here. He can lend you one of his. So I'm sure you can jump in there and try it one night. MO5, nothing changed there, right guys? Did you recall? Okay. Euro truck. Now, there was a request by somebody to add a separate modified Euro truck into here. And we kind of took the position of, we have good numbers coming for Euro truck, 5, 6 trucks. If you allow modified, you're just gonna bust that up and you're gonna be hurting to try to fill one and not the other. So we kept it with just stock Euro truck. Same for now. Okay? brushed PCT. So all we did is we added the PCT in there, plastic chassis touring car, just so it's a little bit clearer. Before it was just called brush touring car. So we just added it in there. It set it down in the rules, but now it's absolutely clear. Somebody looks on there, it's a brushed plastic chassis touring car.
Not brushed anymore.
Or brushless, okay? So plastic chassis touring car.
PCTC.
Okay, so you're allowed, and we did this because of the BL2S that they're selling with Traxxas now,
For the format.
okay? So if you guys are aware of that, the Vortex, it's just their new power system. And it's a 3300 kV BL2S ENC and motor combo. Now Eric, we can allow them to run other 3300s, or do you have to run that? I just can't recall. So you can run the brush 12 turn 550 or the brushless.
I don't know, for me, I'd like to stick it to the BL2S system.
Okay.
Even if you wanna stick it in your Tamiya car, I don't really see that's a problem.
Right,
I've
so,
seen testing recently in other cars with BL2S versus 12 turn, and the brushless was actually slower. The 12 turn was still out there.
okay. So either he just planted a seed in your head so he can run the BL2S and blow you away, or he's telling you the truth, stick with the 12 turn. I don't know. But that's what we'll do, is we're gonna spec that out to be, the brushless is the 3300 kV BL2S ESC motor combo. So that's what it has to be. So you're either using a 12 turn 550, and we're not specking out, it has to be the Titan. It's kind of what everybody's using. So
But it can be
another 12 turn
You should probably
550.
put the part numbers in,
Yeah,
do that idea.
part numbers. And maybe we'll just, you wanna just call it a Titan, or are you guys running other 12 turn motors in that? Anybody here that's running that class? Are you running something else, or the other people running something else?
I'm just oval or on road? Ovals.
This is oval.
It'd be the same.
I'm actually.
You can take a nap, Travis. You're,
That's a gold one right now, and I got a 17.5 in it.
That's too much.
yeah, that's not gonna fall within where we are with
Yeah.
that, okay?
We haven't
So-
we haven't got to the mod touring car class. We had one, I mean, if you find two other guys wanna run mod touring car, it'll probably be, open up from plastic chassis, then it'll probably go carbon.
Carbon.
Yeah, you go into-
That's a whole other thing that we just didn't, there's not enough people to, you know, to justify. And we're gonna get part number.
Show up for half the races with it, and
Yep.
we'll run them.
Batteries open 2S on those. Yeah, there's no other changes to that. Okay, we're over to page 8. Anybody have any questions on, over there in the plastic chassis touring car, PTC? No? PCT. So we're over to Mud Boss. So we're in the same situation with the Mud Boss, and this is kind of a weird one, because you're not allowed to change anything on that Mud Boss. So when you blow out the caster, you have to replace it with a Traxxas caster or bearing carrier, whatever, the hub, whatever you want to call it. So that's the way it's always been. However, the Slash now is coming out with the,
BL2S or the 13.5, or the 12.
no, so, no, I'm talking about
On
the,
the heavy duty?
okay, so 58134, Johnny, look that up. 58134-4. I'm trying to think which the Traxxas kits that is. That's just the BL2S?
BL2S green.
Okay, but it's not the UHD yet.
No.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. So, comes with the BL2S. You can run that, or you can run a 13.5 motor. 13.5 is gonna be faster, I would strongly assume. But I'm gonna put in here the BL2S system again with that part number, because that is 58134, that's the BL2S Slash, right?
Yeah, the 134 is the BL2S. The 034 is the.
So we don't have to worry about the front end parts or pieces yet,
No, I'm looking on the
and we'll just keep it that way for now.
Yeah,
Okay?
until they come within factory, that's the only time.
Right, right.
which
And
probably
that's the part that we always broke anytime, you would touch a wall and the whole front end would fall off. So I got a feeling they're coming out with that new ultra heavy duty also, but we'll wait and see for that. So everything else with the Mud Boss 13.5 is the same, other than changing that kit number, right? Any questions? No? Okay, stock Traxxas modified. So we go through, and please look at those part numbers and look for any typos, guys. So if you read through there, it is that Traxxas modified. What they first came out and called a Traxxas Mud Boss, okay, but it's now gonna be called a Traxxas modified. We are running those things stock. So that is the stock BL2S motor, an ESC, must have stock motor connections, any 2S hard case battery, 5250C with external plug. So this is kind of going back to the Mud Boss wheels. The wheels are going to be stock on those too. So we're trying to keep that thing as stock as possible. Radio system, any aftermarket. So you can put your own radio system because it's a separate radio system. It's a separate receiver, obviously. So you can certainly do that, but the tires are going to be stock. We're not using foams on those. Servo, the stock servo, or the typical Savox that we've always allowed you guys to upgrade with for that 2075. And we usually have those in stock. The stock body, so we're all apples to apples. You can have any color, but stock parts only. And they do have them in color, so you guys can make them a little bit original. We're gonna go open gearing on that, so you can gear it around if you want to. But once again, you gotta have a gear cover on it. That's just for safety. Shock tuning is allowed. So take a look at that and read the rule. Any Traxxas GTR springs allowed. Limiters are allowed, internal and external, but must have visual shock movement. So what we're trying to do is make them perform a little bit better. We had a few guys buy them and we've been racing them throughout the summer. School busish around corners, so it's kind of sliding around. But with a little bit of shock work, we think you can get the thing to perform a lot better. Okay, so we're allowing some shock work on there. Just because you guys are used to that with the Mud Boss, we're gonna let you do that with those. But everything else is gonna be pretty much stock on this, okay? Apples to apples. We good with that? You guys understand where that's at? Okay. 17.5 FTC car. So this is a new class that I've never seen before. I just don't have that much experience. Eric, you want to talk about it?
Well, it's a kind of a class that was requested. They wanted to go faster than 4.2 breakout. So this is the class we went with, the 17.5 foam tire car. Blinky 1S, kind of following the rules that the, what's the
Hooters.
The Hooters Tours kind of using with their Teak and Red Lines spec motor and spec tire, and the same bodies that they're running. So kind of fall in line with what they're running. So if any of those guys want to stop by and run, they're all legal.
Yeah, yeah. So we're trying to keep what other people are doing. However, one thing we did notice is you don't get a lot, not a lot. Every now and then we'll get people from other tracks come here, and I know some of you guys go to other tracks. So we're trying to keep them similar so you can race the same things at different locations. But we're not sticklers on that. So if we come up with our own idea and we race it, that's what our idea is going to be, and that's what we're going to race. Because we just don't see a lot of inter-raceway type of racing. So, but on to the Open Hack Fab Mod 2-wheel drive Mini. So I think, we did EDM's late models, that's kinda open. We tried to focus that last year, but everybody just wanted to run whatever they had, so we just kept it open. Any changes need to be made there, John? Are we doing anything with? No, that's the Sprint car, they're carbon fiber, I think, right? So it's the same as last year. So if you were racing it last year, you don't gotta make a darn change to it. Have not
Maybe some
raced
fresh
it.
tires.
Well, yeah, maybe some fresh tires.
Sprint car's not listed.
Where's it at? Yeah, so, I don't, was it listed? Was it the one that Ray came up and said it's not listed, or was that
Yeah.
last one?
No, that was
Missing.
both of them.
Yeah, so, yeah, we missed, didn't have rules in the rules for those classes, we just kinda knew what we were doing. So, Half-Fat Mini Sprint is there,
We need to cross out this EDM unit truck late model.
okay, yeah, because that is, just a sprint. Okay, so that'll be crossed out?
The, Hag Fab carbon conversion is,
I think only
Is new.
Mini B and
that needs
the
to be yellow.
Yeah, so that Hack-Fab carbon conversion is not the same as last year, I just didn't yellow it, that's the only change that's come into that one.
And I don't think the cage will fit a Mini T. I think it's only the Mini B chassis. So maybe cross out where it says chassis for the Mini T.
Okay, we can do
I just
that.
don't think it fits.
Chassis fit, okay. And then we're down to what we're trying to call the stock NASCAR Losi Grom. Yeah, it's not an Armour Grom, it's a Losi Grom-ish type of thing. So those are the Losis that are coming in. Chassis is not Granite Typhoon Mojave, kill that, that's a mistake. We will allow the battery change. We haven't seen them yet, but I'm anticipating they're gonna have the same type of deal with a 1400 with a smart G2 battery, which means you can't charge it normally. So I'm anticipating that we'll allow you to change that because,
I think they have two compound tires too, two slicks. They have a soft and a medium.
okay,
I think factory, but it's still, I think, listed as a part number in the kit.
are they, okay,
I think it's in the kit.
is it an add-on or does it come in the kit?
I think it's technically will be an add-on.
Yeah,
But it's
so I
just
think it's an
replacement
add-on,
part.
we don't know, we haven't seen them yet, they haven't been delivered here yet, so the tires are stock. If they list, just like we do with the Bandit guys, we list those stock Bandit tires with, which have the nubs in the back and the grooved front, but you can use the, on-road, the on-road tires that they make for them also. A couple guys tried them and went right back to the pins. And I think somebody might have run the fronts, on-road fronts last year. But I think for the most part, everybody went back to the pins, so everybody went back to the stock. But same thing with those, with the NASCAR. We haven't seen them yet, this is what we're anticipating they have in them. So it's going to be a stock car, a stock class again. If it's an all-in-one, then obviously we have to stick with the radio. Okay? So we'll play around with that whenever we get to it. On-road. Oh, any question about the NASCAR stuff? For the oval. Okay, so on-road, we've got on page 10, the bottom is GT12. I don't think we have any changes there. The only change that we have is take out the brushed. Eric, are we putting the, yes,
We need to put the-
motor is the BL2S on there also, and just call it a plastic chassis touring car, BCTC. So on there, we will have that BL2S also listed as the motor, and speed control, you can use the 12-turn 550, just like we did with the other. Okay, so the BL2S will be in the motor, open 2S. Rubber or foams on the tires. Did we do foams on the tires for on-road last year? Is that a change?
People tried, yeah.
Okay. So that's not a change then, okay, all right. Yeah, I don't see it as yellow, so I don't think it's a change, but, and so that is, the only thing that's changing within that is because you can no longer get the 12-turn 550 stock. If somebody wants to buy it and race it, it's gonna be the BL2S system. That's what the Traxxas one is, so. On road, down to the Hack Fab, Mini T or Mini B, the Hack Fab conversion. So once again, that's where the EDM, Nash truck and late models are. I don't think we changed anything with that. Correct, guys? No, nothing changed there. And we'll take those NASCARs and let's see how they race on road too. Give them a shot. I think they're a little bit smaller, 12 scale. So Granite, Typhon, Mojave, because that is the NASCAR only on that. And same deal, you can change the ESC, the battery connector. So you can use any 2S battery. We don't want you to have to buy chargers. That's kind of where we're coming with that. And the stock one, you have to have a smart charger. Over to page 12. Any questions on page 11? Is somebody monitoring online?
Yeah.
Yes, and you're answering questions and people were,
Nobody's really asking questions.
okay, good.
It's tap check and all sorts.
Oh, salt and pepper. Yeah. MO5, no change there. Euro truck, no change there. 12-turn spec street stock. The only thing that changed is, and it's not in yellow, is just that kit number again. Okay, so those parts that come with that kit number will be allowed. You can refit the other ones. Refit your old Bandit stuff with the new ultra heavy duty stuff if you want to. You don't need to. But that's the way that kit's coming, so.
What's no side dams?
That's a copy from the old.
You remember John driving with
Yeah,
that
my
big
street
piece
stock
of
has the big piece of
plastic
tin
about
on
that big?
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that.
Good.
Yeah.
You could hold it there, so you
You can run a quarter harder.
Okay.
Yeah,
kinda like Roman's phone glasses.
yeah. All right, general rules. So that's it for racing rules. We didn't change too much. We just added a couple classes and made some adjustments for new part numbers, right? Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? And all the way down, do we have any question with any of the general rules we had from last year? If you guys have ever thought about it, or you ever want to raise a question about it? Once again, down at the bottom on page 15, I thought this was in the rules last year, but we didn't find it. So at least one half of the scheduled race nights must be raced to be eligible for end of points. Okay? It shouldn't be a problem because stuff has been pretty, with the exception of the 4-wheel drive brushed short course truck that we tried last year, nobody ever ran it, so. We are gonna be having a hot lap board, and we'll discuss, we're gonna come up with ideas for that. So the hot laps for that night, you'll be recognized and you'll have your hot lap board, and those will stay up. We're gonna keep them up throughout the year, so it'll be the hot lap for the year. See if anybody, yeah, for the oval stuff. So we'll have that.
That was only because Johnny wanted his name on a board all the time.
It's only oval?
Yes, because it's the only track that stays the same.
Consistent.
It's the only one that is the same.
Yeah.
So Jeff and Eric can share their name up on the board, so we'll have those up there. And then the hottest laps for oval will be posted. We will have, this came just in the journal meeting. So you know how like Traxxas vehicles you can't have reverse in them? I'm gonna have a little scanny thing that'll take you right to a YouTube video to show you how to do it. So everybody will know how to do it, so there's no excuses for people. I'm gonna make up track layout sheets, so you guys will get to design courses if you'd like. And if we get to use it, your name will be associated with that course, and we'll tell you whose name or what course. It'll be the Ferguson course for Oval. I'm not sure about that, but we will
I'm
have them.
smart enough to design.
You can design the courses, put the jumps where you want to, try different things. Johnny and Eric pretty much designed all the courses last year, so we'll leave it open to you. If you guys come up with some ideas, and maybe the sheets will be out, you can draw up what you want, we'll look at them, and if it's something that's feasible, we think we can do it, we'll use your ideas. Cool?
It's more mine, thank you.
So I know Travis wants more oval in the off-road stuff, so we'll be make sure that we'll do that. So we'll have that go out. There's also some interest, maybe, Kyosho Mini Zs. I see one set of hands going up here, Eric is raising his hand. So we have had, since day one, Sharice and I went out to somewhere south of Cleveland and bought 3 or 4 sets of this Mini Z track. We have a decent sized big track. We've never raced on it. So there is thoughts that maybe you guys want to get into that. We stopped selling the Mini Zs. Tried to get a dealership with Kyosho, but they didn't have enough to sell me.
Yeah.
There was a buy-in. That's the way they are. They make you buy so many thousands of dollars for your initial, and then you can buy smaller amounts. But that's the way you get your dealership through them, X amount. And I tried to do that, and they said, we don't have enough to send you. And so they didn't have enough to send me, so I couldn't buy in, and that kind of turned me off of Kyosho for a little while. So we'll revisit that. If you guys are interested, maybe we'll have just like a Thursday night or Tuesday night or Monday. No, Monday's my day off. We can do that.
The night after Oval set.
Right, well, it would be nice to do it after Oval setup because more of the track is open. We can set up right on the track. Because it's a track in itself. It's like a foam track that you puzzle together. So if you guys are interested, if you already have the little Mini Zs, Kyosho Mini Zs, and you want to race, I'm game. We'll try it. It's one of those things though, if 2 people show up every week, I'm gonna stop doing it because we gotta pull the track out, set it all up, get the timing system nearby, set that up. That's gonna take a little bit of a while to set up and tear down. No big deal, but if there's interest, you guys wanna do it, I'll do it. Okay? I think one of our competitors, Iron City, I think they're doing a Kyosho class where they got some people coming down, so it might spark some interest with you guys. I'll leave it there. And then something else that came up is marshal training. So we'll be doing that. We're going to work it into our racers meeting every time we get together and we talk about what to do and not to do and where to put your cars and how to. We're going to give you a class on marshaling. So everybody that comes will be either taught or reminded how to marshal. So there are some people that just, for whatever reason, don't, like they're sitting there watching a race as marshals, as you're supposed to be marshaling. So we'll go through that, and that will be kind of introduced to you guys, but it's going to be an every week thing. So even if somebody's first time here, they're going to learn about marshaling. Just like you guys learn to put your car on the fart table, don't go back to your pits and come out and marshal. It's going to be a similar thing where we're going to tell you how to marshal every single time with some demonstrations. It's going to add 30 seconds, 40 seconds to the description, and that's going to be it. All right? So, I think that's it for the rules. Do we have any questions online? Fluffy? Dave? You still there? Guys? Or any questions here? Rules, classes, anything?
Dave wants a separate volume control for that. That's speaker.
Yeah, I just don't have it. I just don't have the technology. So we can turn it down so half of the speakers out down there are low, but as far as cutting it here, let's just say you can't make everybody happy. It was, you gotta have a speaker in there because I don't know what's going on. You gotta have a TV in there, I don't know what's going on. So we put it in here and now people complain, well, the TV was freezing up and the speaker's too loud. So I know it'd be nice to have a little volume control so we can turn it down. We can do that from outside, so just tell us and we'll turn it down. That means that those speakers out there aren't gonna be as clear. So, the way that I have the speaker set up, that's the way it's set up. I don't have something with another channel. So, yes, sir.
I can look into that.
Thank
I
you.
bought a system for mine. It's
Okay.
just basically like a little box you run it into.
And if you can figure that out, right now, I just have it teed off going to one of the speakers, so the feed goes to the speaker by the race stand and here. And if it's just another box I can plug into, I don't have any more spaces in the board, I don't think.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
It's basically how I did like my stage monitor. I did like daisy chain, and then basically it just gives you a volume knob just for this one.
Yeah, if I could plug in that jack into a box, and then they could adjust, that's fine. So we can do that. So maybe, Dave, no promises, maybe. So, anything else, guys? Okay, well, thanks again for coming and helping out. I was hoping to get more questions, but I guess we got them all answered, right? You guys are all happy, everybody that's here? And whoever didn't come in and didn't get their 2 cents worth, that's okay, there's still time. We're starting, Test and Tune is October 11th. Members are free, non-members are $10. Racing kicks off off-road on the 18th. Okay, that'll be our first off-road, October 18th. So you guys still got plenty of time. If anybody has to bring something up that's watching this now or watching it later, and they do have a legit question, I'll get the rules committee together again that I mentioned before. These guys, we'll discuss it and we'll make a call on it. So these rules aren't final, okay? These are just for racers. I spelled racers wrong, but racers meeting, for the racers meeting today. So those were, that's just for today. We'll make changes to them as we see fit, but I don't think anything's really gonna be changed, just my mistakes. Okay?
The calendar is already online.
It's 99% there. Is the whole calendar online, or did you hide some of it?
No, it's all there.
Okay, this is there, or individual events?
The individual events aren't there yet on Facebook.
So
The
we try not to
calendar,
flood individual events. We'll put out like a month's worth, and then wait, and then put out a
yeah,
month's
I'll
worth.
do them all. I'll do the whole year.
Okay, she'll put the whole year, so it'll get, yeah. But then this will be up and be printable.
It's up already. It's in PDF. It's on the website.
So this is on the website. If you guys want it, you can do it. You can take a look at it here. It has other stuff on there that may or may not be important to you. But yeah, so that's on there. And we go through to March. March 15th will be the last race. And the 22nd will be the end of season dinner and awards. Okay, that's the plan. See how it goes. Okay? Questions? Nothing? Okay? Thank you all for coming. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for checking in with us, guys, whoever's out there watching, Dave and Fluffy and whoever else. But appreciate it. And like I said, this isn't the end of it, so if you have more questions or anything that you want to speak up now, it's a little bit tentative, you can come to me or come to one of those guys and just talk to them. And we'll get set up for the year.